welcome to talk to people after the meeting.
And I'll be aware of time because I'm also a lawyer, so we know we get paid by the word. So I'll be very, very brief. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I apologize for Representative Taylor. They are finishing up in session. They have a day tomorrow, which I'll get into a little bit, that actually affects Philadelphia and your property taxes. But there really isn't much I think I need to tell you about Representative Taylor. He's your neighbor. He has been here. And one of the things that I believe makes him so important and so critical to the community is he's from here. And his first priority has always been all of you. The needs that you all have. Whether it's as simple as my electricity has been turned off, my gas has been turned off. We were certainly happy, even with a little nudging, to get the lights up on the stadium over by Frankford.
That's very nice, by the way.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And certainly I know Representative Taylor has spoken with Frank regarding the why and what we can do to help. Because really, that's why you get into this. I grew up in a political family, so I, like Representative Taylor, know that the most important thing you can do is help your neighbor. Because when you do that, you make a friend for life. We have 4 offices. We get 250 new calls a week. And it's important that we treat each and every one as if it's our mother, father, brother. And that's one thing that the representative stresses. You'll never hear anybody in our office, and if you do, you let me know, say, that's the city's problem, that's not our problem, we can't do it. We'll make the call and get you to where you need to go so that it gets fixed. Because that's what our job is here to do. We're the ones in the neighborhood. So come in. But I want to talk a little bit also just about some of the legislative things that have just happened this year. And I guess I'll lead with what's happening tomorrow. Most of you probably know, or all of you know, that property taxes in City Council and the Mayor has been a very big deal. AVI are the big initials we all hear about. And one of the things that actually was coming through this year, and this is where Representative Taylor really suits such an important role, because when things need to get done in Harrisburg and Philadelphia, Councilman Clark, Councilwoman Sanchez, they go to Representative Taylor because he's the one that gets things done for Philadelphia. AVI is an example. The mayor wanted to push AVI this year. What that basically means is all our properties are getting reassessed. You can probably guess which way they're going to go. And what was going to happen was if the mayor got it through this year, there was going to be an onslaught of appeals. And they would have been justified. Which also meant that the city was going to be paying out exorbitant sums of money to taxpayers. So what happens? How does the city make up money? Raise your taxes. So what the representative did, he placed an amendment on Senate Bill 1301, which called for the homestead exemption to be implemented. And basically pushed back, which what City Council wanted, AVI to 2014, so we can get all of these new assessments in to see where we are. The homestead exemption, which I'm sure most, if not all of you, have gotten your forms, and all you have to be is a homeowner, and that home needs to be your primary residence. You fill that out and get it in, and we've certainly been making sure you all had it. You can get up to $30,000 off of your reassessment. So that's the type of things that the representative made sure to get done for the city. Tomorrow, because it's not done yet, tomorrow they're going to be voting on the city needs to change the millage rate. And they're going to be looking to make sure the millage rate does not shoot through the roof so that our property taxes don't shoot through the roof from 2014 and beyond. Those are the types of things that we are doing up there. It's not just, you know, it's twiddling our thumbs. When the budget was passed this year, and these are tough budgets, there's no question about it. And no matter what side you're on, what the representative knew and believed that everybody kind of hit a saturation point with the taxes. Couldn't raise taxes again.
What's the formula for the reassessment?
We'll get to that. I want to make sure I use my 7 minutes. God forbid I miss something. What Representative Taylor made sure happened, one of the big things was Corbett wanted to cut funding for Philadelphia schools. Representative Taylor made sure $34.6 million was restored to this budget for Philadelphia. But you have to remember, everywhere else in the state, the school districts are funded by the state by a third. Philadelphia is 50%. So So that's a good deal of money that was saved. Also, one of the things that he made sure of is, besides adding money for back to higher education, $246 million was added back in. There were tough cuts that the governor made to human services. Representative Taylor co-sponsored a bill this term to restore 83.6 million services, especially services for kids. One of the big things that we deal with on a constant basis is those parents who have autistic kids, special needs kids, and they need help. And we make sure that those funds are restored. This is the way to do that. Property taxes, and this leads to properties. One of the things that Representative Taylor has been really a vanguard on is vacant properties and bringing them back to productive use. A couple of the acts you're going to hear is Act 90, that was John's legislation, that allowed a couple of things. Before, all the city could do, if you were a delinquent landlord, like the guy who owned the warehouse up in Kensington, you could put a lien on your property, and then maybe someday, if that property sells, you'll get it. Through Act 90, now we can go through and get your personal assets. So now the city can actually go into other jurisdictions and other states and attack that owner directly. That has started now, thank goodness. It's really kind of a perfect storm with the administration. So L&I started what we call Blight Court. And every month, and I'm down there, they bring over 50 properties down there of those delinquent landlords who don't comply with the doors and windows regulations, who are not keeping their properties. Many of you I've already dealt with undoing that. And they are now, I believe they've collected almost $500,000 just in fines alone. Also Act 135, how many of them? Yeah, I asked first. All right. Act 135 is a conservatorship act. That allows a group, a CDC, group like this, to take that abandoned property on an otherwise good block that nobody's paid attention to, go to court, get control of it, build it up, restore it, and sell it. You can get a fee for it, and you're the primary lien holder, even if there's a mortgage. Lastly, one of the things that we've been able to find through the estates code, there's that property where somebody has died, and it just sits. We've gone to court with a local attorney to get that attorney appointed as the executor of the estate and sold the property to a family in the neighborhood. City gets its taxes, all liens are paid. There is now a new revenue source for the city of Philadelphia, and blight is one of them. So those are just some of the things that we've done, but again, you all know them, and it's our pleasure to serve you. I'm certainly here if you have any questions afterwards. Anything we can do, please call. Thank you for your time.